Oh, put this on. Oh, now we have something. Is anybody gonna show up to said live stream? We'll see. I'm gonna talk about storming Area 51 because that seems like a terrible idea to me. Hey, somebody's there. How you doing, somebody? Hey, there's another somebody. It's almost like I have people that care to watch my channels. I feel honored. Hey, there's 4 people. So, 4 people. What's up, senseless fat? Are you in Vegas? If you're in Vegas, we meet up anytime. I posted this heartfelt message today on my YouTube on the community tab. Anyways, that's not what this is about. This is about storming Area 51. Why aren't you gonna storm it? Are you scared? Don't be scared, man. It's gonna be okay. I'll meet you up, senseless. I'm cool with that. I mean, like I say, anytime, anywhere. You wanna go? We knew this timeshare guy, and he's in his 60s. He's a really nice guy. He's a Pollyanna because he should be dead because he did a lot of drugs and alcohol, and then he saved himself out of that life. But he doesn't know what he's doing. So he'll walk up to people randomly that he's never met before, and he'll be like, hey, what's up? You want to go? Like he's going to give him a fist pump. I'm like, bro, where I'm from, that means you want to go fight. Yeah, we can meet up. I don't mind meeting people. Let me turn my live chat on. All messages are visible. Did you guys see? There was another Vegas channel that did a live stream today. Bigger channel, and I'm happy for him too. Yes, sir, you can always come to the house and have all the pictures and history. Oh, I forgot about you. We emailed each other. You have my email address. And that would be amazing. And I would love to see that. And if you're not okay with being on camera, I'm okay with that. If there's 8 people watching, can I get 7 people watching? Can I get 6 more likes? I'm asking for 6. 6 likes. Come on, let's see a like. No? So Area 51, let's take a look at something. By the way, this giant thing behind me, that's my wife's giant paper flower wall. Hi Steve, enjoying your vlogs. Just bought a house last year off Paradise. Cool, man. What's up, Northern California? You gonna come to Vegas and get arrested? Or get shot? It's a terrible idea to storm Area 51. So I thought I would tell you guys a little bit about my history with Area 51 and what I've seen. By the way, I have a black cat. You gotta see this. This thing is ridiculous. Come here, black cat. Oh! Weighs like 27 pounds, guys. Look at this thing. Look at it. It's huge. And he's really docile. And he loves all of you as long as you give me a freaking thumbs up. So Steven, I'll send you another email. I'm fine with being on video. If you look up Project Mayhem Las Vegas. Isn't Project Mayhem from a movie? I can't remember. Is that from Fight Club? If that's, no. Is Project Mayhem? That was Professor Chaos off South Park. So my thing with Area 51, I worked in tours. I sold timeshare tours to companies now, but what I really liked doing was I liked selling Grand Canyon tours. And by the way, I hope you can hear me okay. I can't scream too loud. My wife's working in her studio. I don't know. I don't know where the thumbs up, man. I don't watch a lot of live streams. If you're on mobile, you might have to tap the screen. If not, that's cool too. So I worked in selling Grand Canyon tours. And I did Grand Canyon tours for a while, and people would come over from the UK. Now, I love people from the United Kingdom. They're super nice. I get along with them just fine because I'm Canadian and I can say Z instead of Z, as in Z for zebra, but in Canada we say zebra. Go figure. And I spell color with a U. That's the Queen's English. But they have an infatuation with Las Vegas, and they come here a lot. Some of the younger ones come 2-3 times a year, some of them. And they would see the Grand Canyon, they'd go to Red Rock, Hoover Dam, Bryce Canyon, Zion, but a lot of them would go and want to go to Area 51. And the companies sell these Area 51 tours. It's really disingenuous because click on the X and live chat, it'll be the same spot as usual. Thanks, John. If you go north of here on the 95, there's a little road that shoots up. And then you get to a town called Alamo, Rachel, Nevada, Rachel, Nevada is a funny town. If you have an Xbox 360, you can find a game called Area 51 Blackstone, I think. It's an interesting game because they recreated the whole entire area. The only thing in Rachel, Nevada is a place called the Little Ailey Inn. ALE.I.N.N. Yeah, there's not much else there. Rachel was named after, it's on the Wikipedia. I was just reading about it just the other day, sitting in bed trying to tire my eyes out. And I'm like, what a better way to tire my eyes out than have all of the lux of the sun shining at them, brighter than a million suns. So Rachel, Nevada, it was named after somebody who died. Sad story, right? But it's a fairly new place. It's not like it's been around forever. The whole entire area up there only exists because of some agriculture. Really, that's cool, man. I'd like to be up there. I like that area a whole lot. We went up there years ago. So, Rachel, Nevada was named after somebody. So, here's what we have. Rachel was founded in 1973. It's a fairly new place. There's only 56 people in town, and if anybody leaves, everybody knows about it. And it was actually named after Rachel was the first baby born in the whole valley. Rachel Jones, she died only a few years after that. And in memory of her, Rachel residents created a cemetery and memorial park and named the town after her. And when you get up there, the English folks would come in, and I'm going to do a bad UK impression, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you. But they'd be like, Roy, it won't go Area 51. And that's not how all British people sound. How dare you? And we'll get into how my father sent me a video on WhatsApp Messenger just to tell me that not all Canadians sound like that, like the Canadian accent. And they want to go to Area 51, and I feel like telling them there's nothing to see. Like, you'll literally drive into the middle of the desert, you'll see a sign that says government property, don't come this way. If you do, you get shot. It doesn't make any sense, right? But they want to go out and do the tours anyways. The benefit of going out in that area, if you do ever make it out there, is you get to the Great Basin, which is where the elevation goes up considerably. It gets a lot cooler up there. And I mean, that's parts of Nevada where it snows in the wintertime. You have cold climates. There's fishing. Ducks Unlimited has ponds up there. If you don't know what Ducks Unlimited is, you're not an outdoorsy person, that's okay. But they have like, they create these little ponds where there wasn't a pond, and now you can go and do some outdoor activities. And I think fishing is a scam. No one catches fish. I used to catch fish. Nobody catches fish anymore because I never catch any fish. But you go up there, you have Alamo, you have Rachel, Nevada, you have a sign that says extraterrestrial highway. They wrote it in alien type font. And that's really all you have, and you can't see much. But apparently, the reason we're on this live stream is it's been in the news lately, and it says, now Fox News is saying it's a bunch of wackos who just want to go up to Area 51. I think that's very disingenuous. It's not fair to say that. I mean, recently, the Air Force has admitted that they've seen weird things flying through the air that they can't explain. These are literally unidentified flying objects. Nobody can explain what these things are. And so then President Trump might have alluded to something that he had seen. So there's things flying through the air. Nobody knows what they are. People want openness to information. They want to have access to the info. And I have a joke about Area 51. So if anybody wants to see the joke, if anybody, it's going to be mayhem up there, senseless. If anybody wants to hear the joke, sound off in the comments. It's a clean joke, so I can tell it on YouTube. It's a PG-13 rated joke. So if you go up there, what's going to happen? Well, apparently over 1.5 million people have RSVP'd to go to this big event. And that's ridiculous, because anybody can RSVP to see an event. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean that you're going to actually show up to it. It just means that you click a button on a website. Trust me on this. I've got a lot of submissions for my Vegas website, for my timeshare stuff. A lot of those people, you call them, you never even get them. They don't even give you a real contact number. They're just interested in filling out a form and hitting submit for whatever reason. So it doesn't mean anybody's going to show. Thank you for that. Yeah, hit a like button if you're watching. That helps people see the channel. So the joke is that an amateur pilot is flying his Cessna airplane, and he realizes he runs out of gas right over Area 51. It's a problem because he knows where he is. He knows he's right near controlled airspace, but the only landing strip is in Area 51. So he lands his plane, and by the time he's landed his plane, they've got him on the radar, and he's got about 12 agents with guns pointing at him. And he nervously gets out, puts his hands up, and they grill him for the entire weekend. I mean, he's there for 3 whole days. They release him on Tuesday morning after the whole weekend is gone, and they figure it out. He's not a weirdo. He's not a psychopath. He's not some terror. I can't say that word because of censorship on YouTube censorship. He's not the T word. He's just a guy that ran out of gas. He's legit. So they tell him, you tell nobody about this encounter. This place doesn't exist. We are watching you, Mr. Smith, with your social security number blank. If anything should ever happen, we will be coming for you, and you will be in prison, and no one will know you exist anymore. So he leaves, and about a week later, the radar over Area 51 picks up the exact same plane flying over Area 51. The exact same plane lands. The exact same guy's in the plane, and just like before, about 12 agents with guns are pointing at the guy. And he gets out, puts his hands up, and they say, what are you doing here? We told you never to come back here again. This place doesn't exist to you. And he goes, yeah, no, I understand you told me that. And that's all well and good. But see that lady in there? That's my wife. Somebody needs to explain to her what I was doing for 3 days with no contact when I disappeared around Las Vegas. And that's the joke. I tell lousy jokes. Okay, so if you guys want to ask me any questions, you guys can do that. It's a live stream. It's not like the earthquake one where I had a bunch of people come in because it was an earthquake live event. I just thought I would talk about this ridiculousness, because if you do go up here, a couple of things are going to happen. It doesn't matter if Area 51 is a secret facility. It doesn't matter if it's just part of Edwards Air Force Base or Nellis Air Force Base. And Nellis is a huge, thank you for the compliment on the joke. Nellis is a huge Air Force base. It's one of the bigger ones in the country. I think the biggest one, I know the biggest one is in Florida, but most of that's on the water, so I don't know if it counts. With that, you're not going to see much, first of all. You're going to see the sign, you're going to see Rachel, Nevada, you're going to see nothing. These poor people, their lives are being ripped apart, torn asunder. I'm sure the tourism is really good up there, but there's no infrastructure for any of that stuff. If you've ever seen the movie Independence Day, they filmed part of Independence Day here. This was the part where all of the mobile homes and stuff, and everybody's lined up in the middle of the desert. Well, just think of that scene, and if you haven't seen Independence Day, I'm talking about the one from 1994, not the lousy one they did recently. They have to stop remaking movies. Stop remaking the same movie. You don't have to do that, okay? It's going to be like that, but with hundreds of thousands of people. Let's assume that 10% of all the people that have opted into this ridiculousness on Facebook actually show up. 100,000 people? Do you know what 100,000 people looks like? If you want to see what 100,000 people looks like, look up the LA Memorial Coliseum. It was built in the 1930s, I want to say, maybe even earlier. It's where currently the Rams are playing. And look up that with a USC game, University of Southern California Trojans. That's what 100,000 people look like. Imagine you have 100,000 people. One bad apple is going to spoil it for everybody. And one thing that goes off, one thing that goes wrong, it's going to be a problem for everybody. Cliven Bundy's ranch, problem for everybody, because one stupid idiot decided to point a sniper rifle at federal agents. You don't want to have this happening. So I don't know if we're going to go. It's September 20th. It's a long time from now. It's actually not that long. Man, before you know it, it's going to be cool enough to go to Rachel, Nevada, maybe September 20th. I would love to go and live stream it, but I can't say that cell phones even work properly out there. I'm on a Verizon connection, so I always have some kind of connection, but it doesn't mean you can live stream anything. I probably have the best quality live stream of my life because my router is right behind where this thing says pageant. And shameless plug, this is my wife's paper flower wall. She does these for events, so that's pretty amazing. She also makes these amazing pieces right here, which you can hang on your wall. And if you're asking why everything is so purple, I would like to know the same thing. Everybody seems to love purple. This is just the theme of this beauty pageant event, so we did purple. You guys have any questions for me? There's 16 people watching, 8 likes. I just thought I would get on camera and chat about this. It's a current event. The Bundys were in the right, and that's why they won, and the court acquitted them. I understand they were. I mean, there's a lot of things people don't understand about Nevada. Do you guys know Do you guys want to hear the story of why we're called a battle-born state? Who knows the answer? I know Senseless Fabrication knows the answer to this. Tell me you don't. But do you guys want to hear the story? Leave a comment if you want to hear why Nevada is known as the battle-born state. We're also the silver state. You probably know why that is, because there's lots of silver in mines. But 85% of all the land in Nevada is actually owned by the federal government. I mean, if you go up towards the 95, Verizon is touch and go, but that's the only service that works. You need to have data connection. That's the only problem. I have a 4G phone. I have the ridiculousness of a fast data connection on. I can show you how fast that is right now, actually. Just install an app. This is the worst live stream in the history of live streams. It's literally a guy installs an app on a phone live stream. So, history in Nevada, I'm just going to tell it. Nobody's asked to see it in the comments, but that's fine. So, the story goes that during the Civil War, Lincoln needed to be reelected. There was a presidential election happening. And that he knew that the state of Nevada would be positive towards Republicans, and he needed electoral votes. So they fast-tracked the statehood, and they had the longest, most expensive Western Union telegraph ever sent from Carson City, Nevada, all the way over to Washington, D.C. And that telegraph contained the entire state's constitution. So it was the most expensive and longest ever. And thanks, John. I actually posted something about that on my thing. It kind of heartfelt. It took me a long time to write it. So battle-born simply means that you were born during the battle, during the Civil War. That's really all it means. I mean, and for the record, they didn't even need that because Lincoln won resoundingly. And then we know Lincoln was assassinated. And then the first president ever impeached was his vice president, who was a Democrat. And there's a lot of history I could go into, but nobody cares about that. So let's run a speed test on Cox Communications and just see how fast this goes. So you guys can get an idea of what I'm streaming on right now. Boom. What do we got there? That's pretty fast, actually. 110. That's pretty good, right? Not bad at all. And it's also the silver state because obviously we have a lot of mines. There's gold, a lot of silver, and then there are hills. And you know, the reason why Vegas even exists where it does is because we were on a trail that went from Mexico all the way up to Canada into the Yukon, and that was the gold prospectors. They would all go to Canada, and they would stop here. Sometimes they would sell cattle, they would trade, they would have to have a place to sleep. Well, the Mormons, that were one of the first settlements in the city, they actually built the old Mormon fort. And the old Mormon fort was one of the first settlements. They abandoned the fort shortly thereafter because it just didn't work out for them. Look at this. So my internet connection at my house is 110. If I run this speed test here on Verizon, it's 220. That's crazy. I remember when we had a 6 megabit per second download speed in my house in Canada on cable, and I was just like, I can download these new things called MP3s really fast, Mom. We need to keep this thing because we had it on a promo. And she kept it because my mom loves us. Let's see what we got here. I got to touch this screen to get some comments, and I'm on a gimbal, and I don't want to knock my gimbal over. That would be bad. Forget about the stupid trolls. They click on the link. 75% is owned by the government. I thought it was 85, 75, good stat. Thank you, John, for the compliment as well. Here's the thing, okay? I posted this, you may not know this. YouTube has, all the channels have a community tab. It's where you can post stuff like a feed on Facebook. However, it's not as incredibly personal as Facebook because not everybody's linked together in a tangled, angry web of identities being stolen and back and forth. So anyways, I posted this thing up and I mentioned Jacob in the thing that I posted up. So some people, you guys have been trying, not anybody here, I don't think, people have been trying to egg me on. They say, well, Jacob posted a video about timeshare. Aren't you going to do a reply to the video? I posted like maybe 1,000 words on that today about it, and it just seems to me like it's not worth it. I haven't seen a Joe Rogan podcast in a while. I like Joe Rogan a whole lot. Vegas is owned by Mormons. Anyways, if you want to go read that, go read it on my community tab. It was very heartfelt. Let's talk about Mormons in Vegas. So we have more churches in Vegas than anywhere else per capita or per person is what I've heard. That's a stat that I've heard, and it makes sense. So yes, there's a big LDS community here. There's also a pretty big Jewish community out here. We got invited to go to the JCC bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah festival, which is August 18th, to show off some stuff and have a vendor's table for this business right here. And there's also the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. They have churches out here. The only land, funny enough, the only land Steve Wynn, when he was still the head of his own company, couldn't purchase was the Catholic Church beside the Wynn Resort. And apparently he even sent people to the Vatican to try to convince them that he should be able to buy that land. And they said, no way, we're not selling it. So one of the biggest billionaires in the country wasn't able to buy land from one of the biggest landowners in the country. It's a pretty funny story. So what we got for comments here. Bob Lazar is a guy that claims that he worked at Area 51. I'll take a look at the video. I watched almost the whole Alex Jones interview, and after that I just had a headache. But Alex Jones is right. There's a war out for your mind. Whether or not they're turning the frickin' frogs gay is another thing. By the way, the frogs are kind of being turned gay. Not really, but if you look at all there's a lot of chemicals in our water and a lot of estrogen in our water, and it's reducing testosterone in men. It's just the only explanation for it. But I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff. That's not what this channel is all about. My mom just retired from BGHS. That's a high school. I'm sorry, I suck. I was going to go over to Clark High School and say that Jimmy Kimmel went to this school, but I don't think anybody cares about that. People seem to like Jimmy Kimmel. He has his own stand-up comedy club here. I don't watch late-night television. I spent all my time doing work on this thing here, and I focus a lot on this YouTube channel, maybe more than I actually should, because it seems like it might be picking up traction. And I owe that to you, by the way. You're the only reason why I'm watching this video. But, you know, I could just go on camera, but it's just, are you going to go to Area 51? Are you going to go watch the carnage? I don't think anyone's going to get hurt unless protesters do something incredibly stupid, in which case people could get hurt. Oh, Bishop Gorman. Your mom worked at Bishop Gorman? That's cool. Did she meet anybody who went on to play in the NFL or do anything big? They had some, didn't Harper play there? I don't know what school he played at, because we only have one high school. Oh, what we're talking about right now is the one school in Las Vegas that produces good football players for a high school program. It's called Bishop Gorman. I don't know anything about it, but my friend who is like an encyclopedia on football, he actually wins when he enters pools and bets. Very good. He has his own system for knowing who's going to probably win. He said Bishop Gorman is so good that they have to travel to California or to Arizona to find teams to play. Otherwise, there's nobody in Las Vegas that can play them. And the joke here is that Bishop Gorman should just play for UNLV. Just take all the players away from UNLV. They'd probably have a better chance to win. And UNLV has the old Bishop Gorman coach, Tony Sanchez. I guess they wanted to keep it in the family. We'll see how that goes for them. Maybe when they move into the Raiders Stadium, they'll be a better team because they'll be fired up. They'll be inspired not to be just playing terrible. I would like to see them do something good, but we don't have a football program out here. I think we have a decent basketball program. Hey guys, thanks for all of the inspiration for doing these videos. If you want to go read the message I wrote about the whole situation with reply videos and kind of, it's not about Jacob per se, it's just about being a good citizen on YouTube and not censoring people. Like, I've only ever censored 2 people on my channel. I'm still a small little, okay, Cimarron, cool. I'm still a small little channel. I'm not big. I'm not, but I've only censored 2 people. One of the guys constantly spouted anti-Semitic stuff. I'm not Jewish, but I probably have Jewish blood in my family, being that I'm Ukrainian, and my family in the Ukraine comes from one of these special towns that they set up after World War I, where Jews could go, so they wouldn't be persecuted. They're literally like a type of sanctuary city where nobody could mess with them. So there's a really good chance that somewhere in the past I have that lineage. I don't, but I don't like anti-Semitism because it just breeds hate and anger. The other person was just spouting rude things and just wasn't very nice, and they were just so negative towards the city. I'm all for people that tell me that Vegas isn't the best place in the world because every city has its faults. But he was so negative. It was just hateful and vile filled. So those are the two people that I censored. I've been censored on comments recently. It really sucked. I was trying to answer some questions on timeshare stuff that people had, or people were just giving comments and I was giving some feedback. Every one of my comments was deleted, which was a shame. And I used to comment a lot more on channels because when you're tiny on YouTube, a good way to get exposure is to give positive, constructive, good comments. And those comments might get liked by people. And then people are like, hey, this is a channel I should check out. And people are doing that on my channel now. And I'm just like, dude, just email me. I'll put your commercial up on my channel. I don't care. We'll meet in real life, just as long as it's at like a public place. Let's do it. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to make sure that you guys get exposure because I know how hard it is to even get 10 views on a video when you got no subscribers. It's a pain in the butt. I went to Gorman. Our football time was absolute garbage. I'm sorry to hear that, man. You don't like being from here, bro. You could just go, but where are you gonna go? California's California. Everywhere else has its issues. I think a place though I'd love to live would be like, well, I want to live in the Philippines someday. You know, I don't know. I'll watch this YouTuber who had a YouTube video blog on just New York City. Now he travels around the world. Wouldn't that be the dream? But I'm not saying that's going to happen. But my wife is from the Philippines. That's where I felt the most at home in all my travels. It's just a very chill vibe. The food is good. Not a lot of chemicals and additives unless you buy prepackaged stuff. And I'm really healthy and feel good when I'm there. So if I had to live anywhere in the States, I'd probably go to San Diego. I love San Diego, California. National cities are really down-to-earth, cool place, little military town. And the weather is perfect. Like I think Lewis Black, the comedian that yells and screams all the time, he made a joke once. He said, what's the easiest job in America? The weatherman in San Diego, because the news broadcaster's over here and he goes, so Bill, tell us about the weather. What's the weather gonna be like? And Bill's over here and he's like, it's gonna be nice. Back to you, Jim. And that's how the weatherman job works there. San Diego is nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's incredibly, ridiculously, stupidly expensive to live in San Diego. I don't understand how people do it. All I know is that when I lived in Huntington Beach for just a minute, everybody would pull in at night from all different parts of Orange County. The streets would be flooded with cars. And it was like 5, 6, 7 people living in a little, 1,500 square foot house just to make the ends meet and the bills get paid. And that's no way to be. You don't want to be like that. This house we have is a little bit too big for us. But hey, I have a giant black cat, so there's that. If you guys have any questions, ask them. And in 3 minutes and 10 seconds at 31 minutes, I'm going to turn this live stream off. I got some more people in here. If you guys have questions, ask me a question. Are you going to go up to Area 51 and possibly be part of a giant riot? That sounds like a good 80s band. It's like Quiet Riot, but it's a giant one. I bet a few people that grew up here and don't like it anymore just need to leave. Several lived in a different environment. I've lived in different environments. I've lived in Canada, because I'm from Canada originally. And there's my bad Canadian accent. My father sent me a video on WhatsApp. He said, stop doing that. And I said, you don't say oot and a boot, but you do say bout differently when you say what it's about. 6,000 people moving here a month. I was told at the DMV it was 10,000 people moving here a month. That was when I renewed my driver's license a few months back. So there's that. That's a ridiculous amount of people coming in, because if you think about it, that's 120,000 people a year. In the course of 10 years, you have another 1 million people in Las Vegas. So I've lived in Canada, obviously. I've lived in Southern California. I lived in Mexico for a time where I had to learn enough Spanish to get by. I also lived in the Philippines. I travel there quite frequently. And of all those places, if I could go somewhere with good cost of living, quality of life for dollar, it would be the Philippines. And just come on, kidding me? $5,000 a month, you're living like a king out there. But I like Vegas. I love the fact that this has so much opportunity, and right now the politicians haven't gone haywire. Grip in Washington, no vitamin D and not good for your mental health, too much rain and taxes. Washington State or Washington, D.C.? You're most likely right on the number. I know it was a lot of people. Washington State is nice, but you know, certain parts of it are very different. I don't know the Area 51 is either going to be a mass Darwin Award or be like Coney 2012, hype up, pointless. It could be hyped. It could be a lot of nothing. As I mentioned 30 minutes ago at the beginning of this video, just because 1.5 million people, there's no, that's not right. I almost said there's 8 billion registered Facebook users. That's right, there's more Facebook users than people on the planet Earth. Apparently there's like close to 1 billion active Facebook users a day, and anybody can click on something because they want to feel inclusive in something. It doesn't mean they're going to show up. You got to imagine, a lot of those people are from overseas. They're not coming here. Hey Doris, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you loving the channel. If you have anything you want to ask me, now's the time to do it, because since people are chatting, I'm staying on camera. And don't do like a filibuster on me and make me stay here forever. That would be a pain in the butt. Just because 1.5 million people opt into an idea, it doesn't mean that 1.5 million people are going to show up. Maybe 5 to 10% will show up. No, that's still 150,000. If 10% show up, then it's still 75,000 at 5%. Hey Johnny, I will go to Fremont Street, since you screamingly threw that at me in all caps. I don't like Fremont Street. I don't. I tell the visitors to go to it, and I think everybody should see it. I worked on Fremont Street when I was poor and so out of shape, and I was 220 pounds overweight. I had no fitness level whatsoever. I'm still not, I'm not fat, but I'm still not in good shape right now, right? And I've worked out there, and I know what it's like. And I think one of the reasons I don't like Fremont Street a lot is because I just have all those memories. You know, it's kind of like when you do aversion therapy, you know, like if one day you just drank the wrong liquor and you got so messed up that the next time somebody offered you that, you wanted to vomit just at the smell of it. I'll go to Fremont Street. I will. There's so much stuff on this channel I have to cover. And that's actually something I said. It's nice on Fremont Street on the weekends. Yeah, it can be good on the weekends. I like going to places like that Sunday mornings because I'm kind of like, you know, so many people. Like I said, on my community tab, when we're talking about, you know, somebody's like, well, Jacob did a video on timeshare. Aren't you going to do a reply? I actually did a timeshare video, but my old phone broke. Speaking of which, I should move this expensive phone away from this ladder it's sitting on. And I almost did one today. Hey, Jerry, we were talking about if you're going to go to Area 51 and storm Area 51. We talked about Rachel, Nevada, a town of 56 people named after one of the first newborns that was born in the town, then passed away. Looking for good deals on entertainment and food also. What's the best source to get deals on sports and concert tickets? How's Calgary in the summer? Pretty sure clean and orderly like most Canadian cities. Probably boring. A lot of stuff there. We were talking about Rachel, Nevada, a town of 56. There's only a few things up there. There's Alamo, the Great Basin. You can rewind if you want. I'm talking live. Yeah. So how's Calgary in the summer? We had another thing. Hold on. Looking for good deals on entertainment and food. Okay, John, so if you want to buy shows, try StubHub for most major shows like headliners. A few hours before the event, you can sometimes get them for cheap. Vegas.com is a good place to get cheap show tickets. Groupon, Groupon, most have heard of it. If you haven't, get Groupon. Install Groupon, use Groupon for buying activities, and also several buffets are on Groupon. It's a much better deal than standing in line at the half-price ticket booth. And sporting events, Groupon, absolutely. You can get good deals on that. How's Calgary in the summer? Calgary in the summer is cold. The weather app I use on my phone called Dark Skies, it gives me a historical database and I can go and look at stuff. So I'm like, hey, what was it like when I left Canada July 4th, 2004? I looked at the weather. It was a high of 58 degrees and rain on July 4th of 2004. The hottest that's ever been there in the summertime was somewhere in the neighborhood of 37 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't even know what that is. That was not Fahrenheit, that was Celsius, 37 Celsius. I don't even know what that is, honestly. Hold on. What's 37 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
37 degrees Celsius is equal to 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hottest day ever, and it rains a lot, and it sucks. I like Calgary though. There's not a lot to do in terms of like, hey, look, it's crazy crap. Here's Vegas. But you know, there's festivals and stuff like that. Do I ever go to Lake Mead or Mount Charleston? We were going to go up to Mount Charleston on New Year's Day, and instead we went to Bonnie Springs and Cactus Joe's. That was the day I did the very first video on my channel. Since I started the channel, and I was going to do a 4K channel, and then it never panned out, so I did a hyperlapse video. Maybe if I'd gone to Mount Charleston, I never would have started the channel. But I like Mount Charleston. It's always cooler on Mount Charleston. It's 45 minutes away from the main strip if you go and you don't hit a lot of traffic. And there's a ski resort and a nice lodge up there. And I had one of my first dates with my wife up there. She was like, I gotta show you, it's so cold up here. It was freezing. It was like 11 degrees. I was like, is this real life? Where am I? Yeah, you're only 45 minutes out of town and it gets cold up there. I lived in Montreal for a year, a great city, and they took advantage of everything they had to offer. No problem, John. Have you ever been to Pawn Stars or Rick's Restorations? Been to Pawn Stars. I got one of the very best Yelp reviews on Pawn Stars. Everybody likes it. Everybody says it was funny. I don't know if Rick's is still in business, if they moved, because they used to be off of, can't remember where they were. You're on Tropicana. I don't see them anymore. When I drive past there, it's a different place, it looks like. I have a friend who owns a catering business here in town called A Cater to Fair Las Vegas. And he is so great at restoring old things. And it turns out he used to work for Rick's Restorations when it was just Rick working from his backyard before there was a Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars been there. Yeah, we went there. I remember watching Dave Attell. You can look us up on YouTube. If you get offended, don't come back to me. Dave Attell is a hilarious comedian, but he's very blue humor. And he actually goes to the Pawn Stars window before it was Pawn Stars. Another story about Pawn Stars is I know a guy, I talked about him on my channel. And he used to steal things professionally and sell them. And he said to me one day, he doesn't do that anymore. He did his time and he's reformed and he does Grand Canyon work right now. But he said to me, he said, I hate that Pawn Stars show. It's such BS. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, it's garbage. That old man is such a disingenuous jerk. He didn't use those words. He said, I remember selling him fur coats that I got out of the Macy's at the Fashion Show Mall for 10 cents on the dollar. Meanwhile, he's telling people on his TV show that you can't buy stolen stuff. That's all just TV. That guy's as old school pawn shop as they come. So when we went there, it was pretty cool, but it's become a museum lately. I like Rick. Is it Rick? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Yeah. I like the Pawn Stars guys because he's really good at creating jobs in Nevada. He's very pro-business, and he wants to do production companies and stuff, but he gets caught up in red tape. That's his big complaint. I like your suggestion to go to Max Pawn. I don't even remember saying that, but you should go to Max Pawn. Max Pawn's great. It's on the corner of Jones and Sahara. They are like a boutique store. If you want to buy electronics and watches, you should go to Easy Pawn on the Strip, right before Fremont Street. It's on the Strip. Before you can see the D from there, there's free parking. Easy Pawn sells really good gadgets and little things, although they don't really negotiate on prices anymore. How about Counts Customs? Never been to Counts? Want to go to Counts maybe? I'm not a car guy, but I would like to do it for the channel. Anytime you want cool and green, you can skip right over to Mount Charleston. Rick's Restorations is located at the Spaghetti Goal in the northeast corner. They must have moved it. Yes, the IRS building. I got robbed at the IRS building. Like actually robbed, pickpocketed. What's a show that's worth the money? Ka by Cirque du Soleil is worth the money. It's a great show. It's the only Cirque show that has a beginning, middle, and end. 3 different acts. It's a great show. Everybody should see Ka. I used to know the lead from the show. Her name was, I'm losing my mind. It's really late for me. I can't remember her name. She was a nice lady. She was Japanese Italian, and she only left the show because she just couldn't physically do it anymore. Ka is a story about twins that get separated in empirical, the type of old China where all the dynasties were fighting, or dynasties, all the different emperors were fighting each other, and then one tribe goes and battles the other tribe. It's the only Cirque show you can't move out of Vegas because the stage is built specifically for it that isn't called O. Your wife made that awesome decor behind you. Yes. Yeah, she's really talented. Super duper. Oh, look, let's see how big this is. If I move this all the way back here, you can see how big that is from back there. It's huge. And she makes them all by hand. You can actually see the petals if I flip this around right here. So you can actually see the petals right here. We have our furniture covered up because of these things right here. So you can see this right here. I'm on my gimbal right now, not on a GoPro. That's pretty big, and I'll flip it around and show you how big it is with me in front of it. I have to move this ladder back a whole lot to give you an idea of just how big this backdrop is. And then I have to figure out how to make it. Gimbals are great, but they're really particular. So, it's pretty big. It's bigger than me, and it's good. And I want to see her be successful because she just started with the business in earnest. Did you say cob? No, it's ka. Ka, K like K, and then K like kite, and then A is an apple. Cobb, I searched. So it's at the MGM Grand. It's a great show. Not Cobb. That would be a completely different show that nobody should be seeing. You won't be able to do anything at Counts Customs. You can't even drive in their parking. Yeah, that's pretty big, right? And then she also did, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but she also has this deal over here. So that's actually pretty big too. These are like sit up on your wall type right here. And they look good in the lighting. And then purple's not the only color, it's just that it's really popular. She does all sorts of different colors. Everything has a, you can hang it from the wall, put a custom message on the back. It's incredibly cool. I couldn't do it. One time we had to go to this event at Jackie Glass's house. If you don't know who Jackie Glass is, that's the judge that sentenced O.J. Simpson to prison. She had a reality show too. She's a nice lady. Her husband's the district attorney, Steve Wolfson. And she had me help her cut these things. I couldn't even do those, let alone the entire construction of a paper flower. I'm just not there. I mean, I can do videos all day long. I use my mobile phone to edit a lot of my videos even, but can't do that. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. We're trying to get gigs out here, so if you guys know anybody that's doing charity events, we were willing to do those. You know, help a brother out, as they say, so I can be happy wife, happy life. That show is awesome. You can see it several times, and you see something new each time. It is a great show. Ka is one of the best shows out there. I heard The Beatles' Love is good. I haven't seen it. I'm not a rich YouTuber like some of these guys that have new gear all the time, so a lot of the money that I'm making, because I got some hate for monetizing my stuff, it just goes to the Philippines. You don't make a lot of money off of YouTube ads anyways. So when it comes to little things, we buy specials. Did I get robbed at gunpoint? No, I got pickpocketed. I had an iPod in the back of my pants, and I looked down. What? Where is this thing? It was gone. So when we get deals on shows, they have locals deals and stuff like that. Sometimes there's 2-for-1s, especially during the holidays. Right before Christmas, it gets super slow. A lot of the shows go dark, which means they're not performing for a few days. And then you can get really good deals before the Christmas rush comes in. Look up Project Mayhem Las Vegas on your phone so I can explain who I am in the video. Sure. Oh, man. Every time I see your name, I think of a Nirvana song called Senseless Apprentice. It sounds so stupid. Oh man, I'm a kid of the 90s. Project Mayhem. I'm not going to have like the government knock on my door if I look up this, am I? Let's see here. Yeah, it is a Fight Club term. I knew it. Oh, is this you? 8,900 subscribers? Is that who you are? Are you Finch? You're in a band? Or are you Nicole Mayhem and you're just calling me? So let me know what you are. I'm looking it up right now. Hey, Johnny, when you're in Vegas, you can send me an email if you want. We can meet up or say hi or whatever. It's good for me, good for you. So I'm looking at Project Mayhem. My cat is screaming. I'm probably going to have to feed the cat because he never stops screaming. This can't be you. No, I don't think this is you. This is guys doing like flips and stuff. Oh man, I'm waiting for Senseless Fabrication to tell me who he is because I looked up Project Mayhem and I can't find him. No, Project Mayhem Las Vegas. It's the street bike videos. Oh, I didn't type Las Vegas afterwards. You hear the cat? I have to feed the cat. You guys have to hold on a sec, okay? Hey. Hey. Hey, loudmouth, come here. Don't bug her. Let's go feed the cat. Hold on, guys. We'll be right back. It's not even the black one. The black one's just sitting there. It's this one. Hi. Say hi. I know. Your life is so hard because I feed you every day. Sorry about that. I'm looking up the Project Mayhem Las Vegas, I promise you. I gotta feed the black one too because he just robs from the white one. I don't do gambling. My favorite casino is Caesar's Palace. I just love Caesar's Palace. My wife and I had one of our first dates there. I'm also a fan of Mandalay Bay. Project Mayhem Las Vegas. Oh, cool. Man. So I'm seeing a bunch of car tricks and stuff like that. See if I can turn this down so I don't blast everybody out. Hello, Fubuki Sensei Chan. Hi. Hi. How you doing? That's a bad joke because Japanese people say hi, and you say, how you doing? And they say hi, and you say, how you doing? All right, so this is you right here. That's pretty cool, man. So do you fabricate things like out of metal? Do you work at Rick's? Is this Rick from Rick's Restorations? I knew you were watching, Rick. I'm just kidding. That's pretty cool, man. You got 13,000 views, bro. That's pretty good. We'll meet up if you want to email me. What is it Canadians like about visiting Vegas? Honestly, I love my fellow countrymen. Do you want me to be frank about it? Because a lot of them say a lot of dumb stuff. And I used to be a little bit of a wise guy. So I'd meet a Canadian and maybe I don't sound like it a lot, but I'd say, where you from? And they'd say, well, I'm from Canada. I'd say, I knew it. They'd say, I don't have an accent. And I'd say, I know Canada. I love to watch Canadian football. And then I would purposely name the football teams the wrong way. And they don't like that. And they'd be like, no, you got it all wrong, right? And be like, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm from Canada. I know all the Canadian football teams. Canadians don't really even watch the Canadian Football League, by the way. It's just what it is. Yes, it's a street bike video, bro. I saw it. It's pretty amazing. You guys are like blasting around. So Canadians like the weather and they like the shopping. Canadians have this infatuation with American shopping. For a really long time, there wasn't a lot of American chains in Canada. Dating all the way back to like the late 80s, early 90s, I remember we had to drive over the river, as we called it, over the river from Canada to the United States. We're in Niagara Falls, Canada, and we would drive over to Niagara Falls, New York. Video games didn't come out at the same time. Movies always did. Music always did, but video games didn't, and you had more selection. And for a time, there wasn't a Carl's Jr. in Canada. And the funny thing about that is that the $6 burger in Canada costs about $8 because of the exchange rate. It's pretty ironic. But they like the variety in shopping. When Target opened there, everybody was doing backflips, and then they realized that Target Canada was not the same as Target in the United States. So they like that. They like the attractions. They like the fact that they can come to the United States and get a suntan and kind of sort of fit in, and they can be their own way, and nobody's going to really, everybody speaks the language. That's one thing. And but I meet a lot of Canadians that are just uncomplimentary. One of my family members when I moved here was really, really uncomplimentary. She was like, they just, right, they think they're the cowboys of the world. I'm like, well, they kind of sort of are the cowboys of the world. One sec. This cat is going to get put in his place. Hold on. I just fed you. I fed him though. So I told that person, I said, yeah, you know what? Canadians are kind of Americans are kind of the cowboys of the world. He just wants attention at this point. because who's going to keep the world safe? I mean, for a time it was the British, and the British went over to places where it was kind of Wild Westish, and they took care of stuff, and now it's the United States. What do you think of the Hoover Dam, Johnny? You like it? If you want to gamble while you visit Vegas, don't gamble at the casinos on the Strip. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Don't gamble at the airport ever, because those are the slots that take the most out of you. And stop. What else? Go to Fremont Street, go to the locals places, find a place that has progressive. If you play poker, for example, the local places will always take really good care of you, and that's a nice thing to have. All right, John, nice to see you. I gotta get out of here. It's past my bedtime. He actually curls up and sleeps with me, so I feed him, and he's usually used to going to bed. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Happy life. I haven't seen you. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. Yeah, I gotta get up in the morning. I get up around 6 o'clock every day. I've seen scorpions. Not fun. I did a video on scorpions. You can search "not leaving Las Vegas scorpions," and you'll see what that's all about. You guys have a good night out there. This went longer than what I thought it would be. So on September 20th, we're all gonna rent a bus and charter a bus with Gray Line, and we're gonna go to Rachel, Nevada, and I'm gonna drop this cat off so he stops yelling at me, and he'll never be seen ever again. I'm just kidding. I love this cat. He was born to a feral mother, and we adopted him with 4 other cats. And then those other cats we gave to the no-kill shelter called Heaven Can Wait Animal Sanctuary, and we kept him, and he's still a kitten 13 years later. Look at him. You guys are awesome. You're the best part of my day. You want to go read what I wrote, what I think about YouTube dramas, go to my community tab, read it. Man, it's not short, but it's sincere. 2 hours of sleep. No, it's only 12 midnight here. I gotta get out of here, guys. This guy here, he's my buddy. He's gonna go to bed with me, and we're gonna cuddle up. Bye, guys. See you later. Thanks for watching my live stream. I'll do another impromptu one later on. I'll post more videos mañana. See you guys. Bye-bye.